If you sit down to work and your brain immediately feels like a mental pressure cooker, you know the exact agony of staring at a blinking cursor. Your head is so full of swirling, competing thoughts that you physically can't execute. The friction arises because you have a dozen ways to say something, all colliding at once. Standard productivity advice tells you to just push through, to sit at your desk, grip your keyboard, and force those thoughts out into a neat, linear document. But you are fighting your own biology. You are trying to process your thoughts internally through a constricted typing bottleneck, when your actual neurological blueprint requires you to speak them aloud. You are just frozen from using the wrong output mechanism. The moment you open up a verbal channel, the pressure drops. By ditching the keyboard and using voice-to-AI dictation, you can take all that agonizing mental friction and pipe it directly into your most valuable creative assets. I ran into this wall recently. I was lying on the couch, feeling restless, and almost immediately the hustle culture guilt started creeping in. My inner monologue was looping. Everyone else is posting. Everyone else is getting things done. And if my hands aren't typing, I am failing. I tried to override my own nervous system. I tried to drag myself to a desk and squeeze a structured piece of content out of my head. Instead, I grabbed my phone, opened a dictation app, and just started venting. A raw, completely unfiltered verbal release of how annoyed and stuck I felt. Within minutes, the tension broke. Right in the middle of complaining about being blocked, I realized the frustration I was venting about was the actual material I needed to make. The friction inside your mental pressure cooker contains the raw data for your best work. When you keep complex, abstract concepts bottled up inside, the internal pressure just builds and builds. Attempting to force that chaotic, high-pressure mass into a rigid text format causes your brain to completely freeze. But the moment you start speaking, ranting without any concern for grammar or whether it even makes sense, you get immediate physiological relief. I call this removing the papers off the wallet. An active mind generates a thick layer of mental debris every single day. You have to lift that top layer of noise out of the way before the actual insight hiding underneath can be exposed. For a verbal processor, clarity is not a prerequisite for starting, but a direct byproduct of the movement of your voice. To turn this biological quirk into a working system, you have to stop acting like a manual laborer and step into the role of a creative director. Step 1 is the raw dump. When you feel that friction creeping in, do not open a blank document. Open an AI tool on your phone, go for a walk, and just talk until the abstract energy is out of your head. Step 2 is the extraction. Most people ask AI to write from scratch, which spits out robotic text. You are going to use the AI purely as a filter. Paste your transcript and tell the AI, extract exactly 3 distinct structural angles from this raw rant. Step 3. The director's choice. The AI hands back 3 organized options. Pick the one angle that resonates with your tone and let AI form out the draft. Shifting into the role of a creative director allows you to skip the blinking cursor and start each project with a menu of your own curated thoughts. You don't need to force yourself to fit into someone else's rigid productivity system. Your tendency to overthink provides the very data needed to map out your next move. If you are carrying around a heavy mental load right now, stop scrolling. Open your voice notes app and just vent for 5 minutes to see what insights are hiding under the noise. When you align with your natural operating system, that heavy mental load turns into a clear roadmap. If this made you feel seen, hit subscribe and let's build systems that actually honor how you operate.